I don't know if I believe Serge when he says the taxi
Taxis?
12s or 13s
Okay.
that he missed on were actually misses.
It's the 12s. I would have retired from the sneaker game a long time ago if I had caught my taxi 12s.
Today we're gonna get into talking about general releases versus limited releases. So it's gonna be a spicy one today.
But before we get into it, we need y'all to do two things for us. We need you to like this video, and after you smash that like button, we need you to go over to that subscribe button and hit that button as well, so you can subscribe to the Soul by Soul YouTube channel so you can stay up to date with all the content that we're doing here.
So in our, our normal, group messaging on Instagram, we keep stumbling across this topic of general releases and limited releases, and kind of our feelings about them in terms of like the rollout and mostly which we would prefer.
So general releases, typically it's like, high stock and high accessibility. So high stock being there's so many being manufactured, and high accessibility being you can get this pretty much anywhere. Whereas with limited sneakers, it's the exact opposite. There's usually a low stock tied to that limited sneaker, and there's limited accessibility. So there you could probably only get this sneaker at a local skate shop that might be having it, or a local design run, or for whatever reason, the Nike Sneakers app only has like, let's say 15,000 pairs of this shoe rolling out. And the subsequent foot sites also have like 500, 1,000 pairs that you can only get. So that's what we're defining as general and limited.
Would you rather have access to general release sneakers, or would you rather have access to limited release sneakers for the rest of your life? Like you can only have access to one or the other. That doesn't mean you're gonna get the sneaker, but that means like, I would rather these types of sneakers versus these types. So yeah, what y'all think?
For me, it's general releases. The limited releases have typically been a really cool collaboration with the designer. And for my style, those collabs, aesthetically, most of the time, 90% of the time, are not sneakers that I'm looking to rock per se. I think it's a cool collab, but not something I would, rush to go with and rock on a daily, or, to go out or as an occasion type of thing. I think my general releases is what I grew up on. And I think that's what I would want to stick with, really, because there are just a lot of numbers I missed out on. So I'm thinking like, yeah, if I had access to all those general releases now, I'd be in heaven. I'd be satisfied with that.
I'd rather have GRs than the exclusive, because I mean, nothing basically changes for me because that's all I got anyways right now. So I think if I were to ask myself like which one would I be more butthurt over, and like which one would I like feel worse about, is like, I think I'd most definitely feel more hurt not getting a GR than a exclusive drop, because I mean, I wasn't necessarily going to get it anyways, but I feel like with the GR, I feel like there's a little bit of an entitlement there.
It's funny. I feel like if you would have asked me this question 6 months ago, I probably would say limited, because I got a lot of limited sneakers for 2020.
A lot of limited.
So 6 months ago, Frankie would have been like, yup, I'm team limited. I love having the access to these because I was able to cop. But 6 months later, Frankie's saying general, because to Charles's point, it hurts a lot more. It cuts deeper when you're not able to get a sneaker that is generally should be an easy cop and you don't get it. Like that hurts more than going for a sneaker that is limited in nature and it's really just the luck of the draw.
I'm gonna be controversial though, I think. And I think I'm gonna go with limited. And I think right now, like this current environment with the pandemic, that's kind of skewing just my judgment in general. I kind of like to be the guy with something that not everyone else is rocking. I think that's more truer to my nature, right? So if I can have those releases that are more limited or exclusive, even though they might not be you know, the same kind of vintage things we're used to, I still kind of see some value in that, because in my collection, I'd have things that, let's say, not the rest of the population has. So kind of just real specific, real personal to me.
The lines are getting blurred as like this resale market keeps kicking in, because like there are some general release pairs that, you know, people are getting in mass quantities just to sit on and resell. And that, you know, then kind of creates this effect of like, well, if a general release isn't guaranteed, what is guaranteed?
Right.
So
Like a GR is
then-
now limited,
Nothing.
and then a limited
Right.
is even more limited now.
And the limited is
Right.
even more limited. Exactly.
Right.
So I do feel like we're reaching a point where
You're gonna have to start getting like into like whack shoes that are sitting on sneakers right now. That's the only thing we
Right.
have chances on.
Or
And I think that
Adidas.
all has to. I think that all has to do with. I think kind of framing this conversation, like I think that all has to do with like Nike. Like, I mean, you know, that's kind of. I mean, we definitely shop at other sneaker brands and all that jazz, but I mean, Nike's the biggest one for us, and it has to do with Nike. Nike knows that these general releases are way sought after than they were ever before, but they're probably not doing anything with the stock numbers. They're probably still keeping their general, whatever they call a standard or general release stock number, out, and they're pushing it out. And they don't. In my opinion, Nike knows about the details, and they're just not doing anything about it. And they're just gonna go about it as they can, because they could literally add, well, all right, we see that there's a trend in all of these factors: sneaker reselling, collaborations, hip hop artists, influence, whatever, which is creating this mass wanting for all these kicks. All right, let's just add another 100 or whatever, 40,000 more pairs, whatever the number is. Just let's add to it so we can have that sense of the general release, because it really goes into Nike dictating the market as well when it comes to these things. So they have influence on the sneaker market when we go to like StockX or Go and all of that jazz, based off of whatever they want to push out. So
right. And the landscape is different than 4 years ago, 5 years ago, you know, so it's like they should kind of work with the demand that we're seeing, like go off of the demand versus doing the same
move with
whole
the times.
system that you're doing.
Right.
You got to go off of
Move
the
with the
demand now.
I honestly feel like we're in the midst of like a change in like how things are done in terms of like marketing, in terms of like like stocks and all that stuff, and just how to like how we're pushing product. And I just feel like obviously things take time to change, and I think we're in the middle of it. Everybody's a reseller, and so it just kills everything. The game, like honestly, sometimes it's not fun, because like, yo, I can't even get an Air Max 1, like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think
I can only get white Air Force Ones now. Like, is that what you want me to do, Nike?
Yeah, that's it. White or black.
Companies like Nike and Adidas do these deals with like Travis Scott, Jerry Lorenzo, right, to try to keep the consumer coming back to them, right? Because if it's like, okay, if there's not a hype release, right, or if these collaborations, then it kind of gets stagnant. I'm pushing out the same shoes the same time, blah blah blah. Like, I'll have innovation, but I want the brand loyalty. Like, I want you to keep coming back to me, which is why these collabs are really kind of important to them. If you miss out on the Travis Scott ones, okay, here's the other silhouette that it's named after. Here's the other colors that was on it, right? Keep looking at us. And so like for them, it's like, that's why I don't think they care about the stock numbers of the shoe, right? Because the lower the stock, then the more hype it gets. And the more hype it gets, the more you're gonna go to their site.
There's a method to the madness, but I still think from our earlier points, it's just like there is more demand in 2021 than there's ever been, you know? So it's just like, you can still up it, you know, it's not gonna ruin, you know, your bottom line or your strategy. I think you can still up like a OD hype sneaker or a general release by 15,000 pairs. It's not gonna kill you, you know what I mean? Because so many more people are trying for them.
Sure.
How many users are on your app now versus 5 years ago? You know what I mean? Like things like that.
They must have a magic formula though. Like they
Yeah,
they,
for sure.
they must be seeing all this.
But
Because it's not like they're
need to,
stupid.
they need to push
not
their money
stupid.
into just supply chain and like just fixing the apps and like it's just trash.
Yeah.
The experience is what annoys me.
You know, am I
Experience.
really
and killing the bots? Yeah, Frankie, killing the bots like that. Like fix the experience. I feel like do whatever you want, but fix the experience for people trying to get your sneakers. So what are some of your go-to sneakers in your collection that are either, you know, a GR or a limited, but it's just something you either, you know, consistently rock or you're just like staring at all day?
I'm always staring at my Bread 11. That is the one sneaker. This is my second time copying the Bread 11s in my lifetime. I think the last time was 2008.
Old man.
Yeah, 2008. Yeah. 2008.
Back when you're 30.
Pair.
No, I'm playing. I'm playing.
Another pair are my Jordan 12 Flu Games, and my other favorite pair are my Yeezy 350 V2 Blacks.
Most of my collection is like mostly GR stuff that I just grew to love or just always loved. I think pairs that I've just already like rocked to death right now are Silver Bullet 97s.
Okay.
I had a pair. My first pair that got me into the game was the Infrareds back in 2009, 2010, and those are beat. So I'm happy those came back this year, and I was able to get a pair after doing a lot of legwork. And then those Black Cement 3s. I'm really glad that I got those, and then just a bunch of Air Max 1s that I'm just really into. I'm just really into Air Maxes.
I do tend to stare at my limited sneakers a bit more than actually wear them. And the ones that I wear are more general releases. So like the Air Max 90 Infrareds, I wear those on a consistent basis. The Air Jordan 13 Flints, I really like rocking those, especially during the summer. Those were heavy on my feet.
Double digit Frankie?
Not quite.
Bot Frankie turns into double digit Frankie.
Double digit Frankie?
The Yeezy 350 V2 Zebras, just a classic colorway, and I'm happy I got those. But the limited ones that I am happy about, the New Balance Bodega 997Ss, those are just a clean shoe, so comfortable, but limited, and I'm just so happy I was able to get those. The Union 4s that you see behind me, obviously, and then of course I can't go a video without mentioning the Nike Air Jordan 1 Colores y Vibras.
For me, I you just can't go wrong with some Yeezy, you know, 350 V2s. I have the Statics, I have the Zebras, I have the Breads, you know, I have the black pair. I think they were all generals or you got re-released, so you know those I don't think you could go wrong with that. Super comfortable for me. Also in my collection, I'm gonna have to say the Bread 11s. I'm gonna have to say the Bread 4s. I'm a 4s guy, and that's inching close in terms of like my favorite 4. I think I'm ready to say that on this channel. It's getting close to the white cement 4s. Like it's getting super close. So the Bread 4s, like I wish I had another pair. And yeah, when it comes to limited, I'm gonna say the Union 4s for sure. And yo, these Street Hawkers, man, I think I gotta keep them. They're crazy.
I thought you were gonna say the Bread Toes, but then I was like, wait, he don't got those.
Yo, shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. Don't do that.
You were like, the Bread 4s, the Bread 3s, the Bread 11s.
Yo, I hate
Mike right now is, and I took that personally.
I should have said the Shadows though. The Shadows. Come on. The Shadows. Thanks for tuning in to our conversation today on the Kickback. Just talking about general releases and limited releases. You know, you kind of see where we stand on both of those. Let us know in the comments what you thought. Definitely like this video, share this video with your people, and then subscribe to the channel. Can't say that enough. All right. So thanks again. See you on the next episode.